Well, hello. Welcome to Jazz After Dark, everybody. How we doing tonight? It is very late, Halloween Eve, or no, night, while I'm recording this one here. And so I have any makeup left on my face or anything. I was Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? Got my Buffalo Trace here. I hope you'll join me here tonight with something different. You want to try something different? That's not different. That's good. I had a bunch of emails. I had a kind of an interesting weekend where I got a little behind. And I was sitting here answering a bunch of emails, and I thought, these are great questions. So let's talk tonight about questions that clients are asking me. I won't give any names or anything. And I'm just going to go through them and try to teach while I also answer the question. So I'm just going to kind of pick up here, and I wish I was like somehow able to translate all this into text so I wouldn't have to do work twice. But the first question is actually from a client that had inherited an account. It was a regular brokerage account, right? So nothing fancy, but they'd inherited an account with a decent amount of money. And they said, I'm not sure about these investments. And I'm being told maybe I can't change the investments. I said, well, send me the list of what you're in or a recent statement. The lesson here is the decedent or the person who passed away had a lot of what's known as front-loaded funds, front-loaded mutual funds. And the trick to this is if you're ever looking at the name of a mutual fund, not the ticker, but if you look at the name of a mutual fund and it says like Franklin Templeton, blah, 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 A, okay? American Funds, Growth Fund of America, A. It's with the A, right? The A is a class. So mutual funds have different classes, and most of the time, the A class of shares is a front-loaded fund. Now, there's nothing wrong with these. They used to be quite popular. The deal is they usually charge about 5.75% for every dollar that you put in up to an agreed upon amount. And they usually list it. It's not a secret. What's cool about this, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's actually, I kind of agree with it, right? It costs you 5.75% to hop in, right, with the dollars you're going to put in over time. But if you think about it, once those dollars achieve growth of over 5.75%, you're supposed to not have any other fees. Meaning, yeah, all right, you can have the first 5.75% if you don't bug me from now on. Now you're stuck with that fund, of course, but it's not a bad deal if you're going to invest for the long term. Where I have a problem with this is when they say there's a front load fee. Oh, and we're going to charge you yearly, which all of them do it. I don't actually know one that doesn't do it. So, for example, I started digging through, and if you want to, verify this yourself or look it up, you have a fund, for example, where is it with the A? Oh, we're at the stocks here. Okay, MMUFX. I'm not saying it's a good or bad investment. I'm just pointing out what they do. It'll say MFS Utilities A. So I said, okay, well, that's a rather costly thing to invest in. You have the other ones here, the American fund ones. They're actually really popular for this, or American mutual funds here. Some are with Morgan Stanley. AWSHX. And so if you're going through your 401k or teacher's plan, 403b, 457, whatever, and you notice that there's some of those, just check the expense ratio. If there's a 5% front load and you're okay with that, as long as they're not going to charge you on the back end as well, then, that's acceptable too. So I was just pointing this out to the client that, that's kind of where we're at. All right. He's probably going to watch this one, but here's a client whose significant other racked up a little bit of debt. And I don't honestly think it's that big of a deal, but this client is quite upset by that. So much that, they're like, what do I do? So we used our software. We went through and figured out how we're going to get past this. It's not my job to say how bad that person is. I don't care. What happened. And my job is to be dead about it inside and figure out how to get them out of it. And so we worked through it and we said, okay, here's some options, but I needed more information about some of the credit cards, whether it was a promo interest rate or what was happening there. And so I responded back, and the client said, basically, I'm sorry, I haven't gotten back with you. I'm just kind of bummed out about it, and it's stopping me from taking action. And my exact answer, very short and sweet, because sometimes I got to be tough on you guys here. My exact answer was, All right, that's fine, but the credit card company doesn't care. So suck it up, get unstuck, and let's get to work, mister. So they'll know I'm, having a good time with them in a otherwise kind of bad situation. But the concept there is, look, I need to push, and I can't do my job if I don't have all the information there. So that was a fun one. All right, multi-question one from a client here. Question one, got an old 401k with a name brand company there. It's small, but they're telling me I need to do something with it. Well, remember, an old 401k, once you're off the payroll, you can move it into a traditional IRA if you want to. You can cash it out, or you can move it to if you have a new 401k. I like the idea, and I know it sounds biased because I want him to move the money. It's a small amount, but I want the ad business. I get it. But the fiduciary response is, hey, yeah, you can move it to an IRA or do the other things I mentioned. I personally prefer the IRA. It puts you 100% in control. If you want to take the money out to buy a first-time home, if you want, what did we have during COVID? We had that exclusion, the added amount you could take out of your IRA without getting any penalty. Well, tougher to do in your 401k. You could still do it there as well. A little bit tougher because you had to maybe prove hardship, or that used to be a rule. And so I don't like that. I like the idea that, yes, I'm saving for retirement, but if what hits the fan and I need my money, I want to be the one to make that decision. So I shared that with them. Other question here. I'm going to have about $25,000 in a couple weeks, and I'd like to have that for my emergency fund. I've never really had one. I would like it to be readily available and make the most interest that it can without losing any. Those were their words, not mine. And so I just made a point to say, you have a lot of choices right now. So don't find that you have to just bite on the first apple you see. You have CDs, right? Not my favorite, but they're paying very competitively. You have money market accounts, high interest savings accounts, money market funds. And so I kind of went through explaining the difference there and said, well, hey, the money market fund, the kind of strategy we use here is we'll go find the highest paying money market fund. And then every Friday, just look to make sure that we're in the highest paying one. If there's another one, we'll shift over to that one. And I was giving them some of the rates there. So, don't leave your money just sitting in a savings account there. Kind of not worth it. All right. I actually have not seen this question yet. Hey, Dustin, I elect my health benefits plan, and I'm wondering if I should choose a different plan than the high deductible plans. And my husband chooses the high deductible plan, so she wants to flip-flop it. My husband also has our son in his insurance. Can he contribute the full amount to the HSA, or should he contribute only half? We want to make sure it's legal. Okay, so what she's saying is, my health benefits plan is a high deductible. Wondering if my husband should choose the high deductible plan. Can we still use the HSA? Actually, since we're doing this tomorrow night, we're bringing in an actual insurance pro. Not to avoid the question, but an insurance pro. But the only rule that I gave this person, because it's a good friend of mine, is you can't sell anything. You just answer the question. Give them the straight answer. I don't want any other answer besides what the honest answer is. And he's more than ethical. He'll have no problem with that. So this would be a good one to ask him as well tomorrow when that comes out. However, the HSA in this case for 2023, she'd be able to make the family contribution, and you can't do it twice. Okay, so it won't matter in this case what she decides to do. But I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into that with her, because if I remember her, I don't think this would be kind of added savings. I'm not sure that should be a focus for her. Okay, next question here. I'll just keep going for a few minutes and then we'll stop it here. Oh, good. This person got a new job. Okay, so this is a client that had a really unique sort of made for him job, right? And the company got sort of bought out, and then there was no need for this job because the other owner made this job for him. So he's like, I got a new job with an actual public company. They match 50% of what I contribute, which is kind of crappy. Okay. And they have a few options for the 401k. I can do pre-tax, post-tax, Roth, etc. I've always subscribed to the mentality of get as much out of them as you can. Okay, so that's fine. He wants guidance on the investment options that they have available because of what they're already putting him in. Yeah. So what happens there is when you start a new 401k, there's actually a new rule. It was a huge debate not in the financial advisor space, but in the ERISA sort of space there. The ERISA side of the regulations is for 401ks. And so the trouble was, when you started a 401k, if you put some money in there, nothing happened. It would just sit there. They just expected that you knew to pick the investments. Somewhere along the line, somebody said, you did me wrong. My money has just sat there. You were supposed to invest it. And they go, no, we don't invest it. So that became a topic. Should 401ks just automatically put them in a default fund? Well, the 401k said, well, whoa, wait a minute. We don't know anything about these people. Why would you make us put them in a default fund? What if that's too much risk? And thus we have the advent of the target date funds. So the regulators, for ERISA-based plans, they came out and said, if you choose a target date fund that fits the age group of that person, then we can't hold you responsible for any, maybe they get mad at the performance or something. We can't hold you responsible for that. It's a default. So now what's happened to this client, he started a new 401k. The money has gone into a default, which I already know is going to be the target date fund. What do we do about that? Well, he's asking me to look at the other investments, and I'm happy to do it because you can always beat the target date fund performance-wise in your 401k or whatever it happens to be. This is by design. You have to be able to choose an investment that's better than a target date fund. The target date fund is the default. It's not the best. It's not bad. It's just not the best. So he wants me to look and dive into it for him. And of course, I'm happy to do that. There's a client who wants to talk. That's okay. We'll schedule a call there. Let's see. Is that pretty good for now? Am I basically caught up? Oh, he's emailing again. Urgent. Got my new job here. So, of course, happy to help with that. And let's try one more here, see if it'll load. I'm not getting anything. Oh, here we go. Healthcare questions. Awesome, man. Oh, because of the insurance guy. So this person's asking the question because of the insurance pro that I got coming to hang out with us. So anyways, what do you think? This feels like it would have been a better live class maybe to do. That would have been more interesting to just take your questions. But I don't know. I thought it would be pretty cool to go through and see. Let me know if it sucked and you just want me to focus on one thing. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. But there you go. Some tough love, some strategy, hey, I need to look a little deeper into you. I'm not sure that you're suggesting something, but I feel like maybe you're pulling me a different way than what's optimal. So some different insights there. If you'd like to help, jazzwealth.com. You can work with us there, schedule a call. We don't have a sales pitch. We'll just tell you how we do things. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm still here. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening.